Let's just jump right into a massive, honestly mind-bending paradox. Just last week, Pi Network had what was arguably the biggest 5 days in its entire 7-year history. We're talking a major U.S. exchange listing, smart contracts going live, an AI Launchpad, and a massive protocol upgrade. And the result of all that? The price just completely crashed. Picture this exact contradiction. On the one hand, you have 5 undeniable, monumental technological deployments rolling out in a matter of mere days. And on the other hand, a massive red candle. The price just plummeted, going 94% below its all-time high, dropping straight down to 15 cents. It didn't go sideways, guys. It went straight down. And honestly, that stark disconnect should really bother you. So what gives? Why on earth did the price tank? How does a network roll out literally its most monumental upgrades in a decade, only to watch its token value fall off a cliff? Well, we're going to solve that exact puzzle today, and the answer is going to change how you look at the entire ecosystem. Let's kick things off with the headline. OKX just made Pi available to millions of US users for spot trading. Huge, right? But check the precedent here. When Kraken listed Pi earlier this year, the price surged 34%. OKX opens the exact same door to an even larger platform and crickets. The price barely budged. Same event, same market, completely different result. But get this, OKX wasn't even the biggest news. We are talking rapid-fire developments here. OKX unlocked US spot trading, sure, but then Protocol 23 enabled parallel transaction processing. Sorabin mainnet brought us a fully programmable blockchain. PRC2 hit testnet for subscription tokens, and the AI Launchpad opened up direct developer testing. That is staggering momentum for a single week. 421,000th. Let that number sink in for a second. That's the sheer scale behind this momentum. It's the exact number of nodes that just upgraded to Protocol 23. The core team actually called it their most challenging upgrade ever. They upgraded 3 separate subsystems simultaneously all across the globe in just 2 days. Unbelievable. So what did all those nodes actually unlock? Soroban smart contracts. Boom, they are now completely live on mainnet. This means developers can finally write programs that execute directly on Pi's blockchain. We're talking decentralized exchanges, lending, automated payments, the whole shebang. After 7 years of just tapping a button, true utility has finally arrived. And wait, it gets better. 2 more massive updates flew completely under the radar for most people. Think about traditional tokens. You buy once, hold, and blindly hope the price goes up, right? While PIRC2 tokens operate completely differently. You subscribe. The project actually has to keep delivering value to keep your ongoing subscription active. That built-in accountability? It's currently live on testnet. Right alongside all that, the AI-powered Launchpad finally made its public debut. 18 million verified users now have the tools to connect directly with developers. We're talking real humans testing products and participating in launches. This is a real game changer because it brings the founders' precise vision to life, using tokens for actual user acquisition, not just as a fundraising gimmick. Okay, let's take a breath. That's 5 massive breakthroughs, literally staggering technological leaps. So why didn't the price jump? Why the total disconnect? The truth is something most people completely ignore because, well, it isn't flashy. But in this explainer, we rely on facts. So brace yourself for the hard math. Here's the reality check, and it's a big one. 4.6 million. That's exactly how many free Pi tokens are unlocking and flooding the market every single day. Not every week, you guys, every day. Pioneers are receiving tokens that cost them absolutely nothing to mine, and a guaranteed percentage of them are just selling immediately. I mean, free Pi at 15 cents is still free money, right? To really wrap our heads around the scale of this problem, think about the total supply. There are 10.44 billion tokens currently circulating, but the total supply? It's 100 billion. That leaves a massive 89.56 billion slice that is still locked up, meaning 90% of all Pi hasn't even entered the market yet. Look, here is the harsh reality. No shiny exchange listing, no fancy protocol upgrade, and no hype speech at a conference can magically fix a supply problem. It's like a running faucet. The water level is never going to drop if the tap never closes. The absolute only way to absorb those massive daily token unlocks is true, undeniable demand. People actually using Pi to do real things. But hey, the roadmap is absolutely not hitting the brakes to wait for that demand. Think about the sheer speed of this sequence. Version 24.1 hit on May 25th.
Version 25.1 arrived on June 8th. Version 26.0 landed on June 22nd. That is 3 massive protocol upgrades in just 4 weeks. Node operators literally have to stay current or get disconnected.
Let's zoom out for a second and look at history, because context is absolutely crucial here. Every single major blockchain goes through this exact kind of quiet phase. Ethereum? It traded below $10 for years before decentralized finance exploded and pushed it to $4,000. Solana dropped to $8 in a brutal bear market before its ecosystem finally activated.
There's this saying I absolutely love: infrastructure gets built in the quiet times. The real builders, the ones making the magic happen, they show up when nobody is watching to lay the foundation. By the time the broader market finally catches on, the early believers have already positioned themselves. Pi just built its entire infrastructure in 1 week. Guys, the quiet time is ending.
All right, so what's your game plan right now? Here's the checklist. Number 1, update your node to version 24.1 immediately. 2, check your KYC status and fix it if it says tentative. 3, get 2-factor authentication enabled on your wallet. Don't skip that. 4, remind your team to complete their KYC. And above all else, keep mining while others are quiet.
Because ultimately, all roads lead right back to utility. Let's connect the dots. OKX brings the access to buy, smart contracts let the developers build, Pi RC20 enables the subscription models, the Launchpad tests that utility, and Protocol 23 powers the whole thing. These 5 breakthroughs are the exact tools required to create the massive demand that fixes the supply issue we just talked about.
We kind of have to hold 2 truths in our heads at the same time right now. Yeah, the price took a beating, but consider this: 15 cents with live smart contracts, a solid DEX foundation, and US exchange access is remarkably different than 15 cents with absolutely nothing. The asset price might be the same today, but the underlying network is entirely transformed. Which brings us to the final thought to chew on today. The biggest week just happened. The price didn't care. Yet. The foundational tools are finally live and the builders can officially arrive. Everything that happens next depends entirely on whether developers actually show up to build. Will they? Well, that is the billion-dollar question. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer. Stay focused and keep learning.